What? Is that a threat? Hello, we're on screen now.
Okay, I thought we had an intro and then it just vanished. So
What's up, friends? How you
It's
doing?
the NLC,
I
everybody.
was sitting down in my chair.
I
a little
assume
bit.
you could probably hear me. I'm Vibrant. It's Orcs and Foxtrot. We're moving it towards our final game of the day, guaranteed now, since the second series is all tied up. And Foxtrot, between these two teams, in the two games that we've seen, which team's impressed you more?
Ooh, that's a really tough question because I was really impressed with what BTXL did in game one and how they kind of flexed their draft a little bit and their execution. I thought it was brilliant. And in game two, what really impressed me from Riddle is the way that they actually they adapted to what BTXL threw at them. And I think they executed it really well. So I think both teams honestly have had some really good shining parts. And I'm actually not 100% sure, but Riddle were on red side, right? Is it 100% red side win rate?
Yeah, red side last game.
Yeah. So every game today, we've had 5 games and every single one has been red side win. And so if that's a trend that continues, BTXL have the upper hand here in game number 3.
I think BTXL were on blue side game 1, right? Is that how that works?
Okay, I might be chatting rubbish.
Well, we're on to mix of bands. BTXL on the red side this game, so,
Okay, so basically 60% of the time, Foxtrot's theory runs wigs every time. That's what we're going with.
Exactly. Thank you, Dan.
No worries.
Saving the desk once again. But we've got our bands coming through. The 2021 champions off the board. No Gwen, no Viego. The Syndra also notably not going to be making enough appearance in this one. Riddle are sick and tired of Deadly picking up that champion. But they're not sick and tired of Fresh, which is what they're looking at picking up potentially here as their first pick.
I think he's a good first pick, honestly. I mean, this is going to sound kind of strange and maybe a little bit rude, but I haven't really been overly impressed with PlayStation's Thresh. I think this series, he's a good Thresh player, and I think it opens up a lot of stuff in the draft, a lot of flexibility. And yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that a guy named PlayStation is probably fairly comfortable on the champ, so hopefully he can bounce back. And for Riddle's sake in this game, he's going to be going up against a Nautilus in that.
Maybe it's a coincidence, Maybe just didn't Ramsey Bolton flay people or something? Maybe and he likes trains. It could be completely unrelated. We're assuming.
True. That's true. That's true. Aren't there some train stations in Newcastle that are like that? I don't know if
or
that's
people
true.
are getting played.
That's what I hear about Newcastle.
If you say the wrong thing, right? You get up in a Sunderland jersey, then maybe. Yeah, we do see Nautilus come in, which is a lot of people see this as like a favorable matchup into the Thresh as something that kind of can engage on him, apply pressure. And the Diana come in as a strong AP jungle option, freeing BTXL to take AD solo lane. There's a very quick response. Riddle secure the Aphelios. This pick is almost always paired with Thresh when it can. Offers that safety net, and it's very good into short range champions. So I actually feel like BTXL should diversify the draft a bit here and opt for something with a bit more range. Speaking of range,
hey, he's called it perfectly. There goes the Ziggs lock-in as well. I mean, it's not going to be Syndra, which Steady's played 2 games in a row. It's going to be the Ziggs instead. I don't, this could very well be a hat-tricks pick. It could be either at this point, but obviously BTXL have favored putting the AP champion in the bot site, but still it is a flex and that works in BTXL's favor here. As we look into the second round of bans, what does Riddle want to do? Are they going to look a bit more towards trying to do they think Ziggs is going bot and therefore maybe look towards those mid lane bans, or are they going to try and take away an ADC? We will see.
I think you can target top if you really want. If you're concerned about a last pick, counter pick, Camille is something potential there. You could also target AD mid laners, because if we do end up having the Ziggs Diana in the jungle, then obviously it's heavily AP. So I think that based on how they've been playing, BTXL would probably look for an AD mid laner. Lucian stands out to me as a ban that you potentially take away, which might be quite important, especially for the priority it provides. If you have Ziggs bot lane, Lucian mid, eventually you're going to get to the point where you can just murder waves in front of you. And for BTXL, taking away the Ornn, potentially opens up some concerns. I could see Orome definitely taking something that gives them a strong matchup. And again, Kex will have to blind most likely in this situation.
It's going to be the Jason bandway, actually, something that we saw from BTXL last game. That AD mid laner leaves a Lucian available if they want to go down that avenue. And of course, it could technically be the Ziggs mid as well. We'll have to see where BTXL decide to take their counter pick, though, as they are on red side, and maybe reveal a little bit more about where a couple of these pieces are going.
And I think CC is going to be very important for BTXL here. You've got Nautilus for some lockdown, but outside of that, you know, you've got a vulnerable Aphelios paired with that Thresh, the Nidalee as well. These are some like slippery champions. If you can lock them down, then that's going to make your life a lot easier. Obviously, as discussed, like Lucian's kind of a must-go-to right here, especially if that's going to be in the mid lane. After that J-Span, it really was just the best pick for BTXL. Very heavy on Magic otherwise. But again, you know, I feel like depending on the situation here, the more CC you have, the easier it is to play this comp or into this Riddle comp. Gonna be a blind Malphite. That is especially interesting when you're against Diana and Ziggs. But at least it's something that can lose gracefully if that's what Kex wants to do here. And you know, as a blind pick, just play weak side and let the rest of your team take off. Ooh, okay.
I like the Malphite just because you need engage. If you're up against Ziggs Lucian, I think you need some sort of hard engage because they land locked. Even though you know, it is kind of weird to see it in those APs. But they really are, you know, I'm hyped for this. I feel like they don't necessarily have the best setup for the Nidalee in terms of lanes with spears, but the Irelia is kind of strong on Lucian because you have that massive physical damage reduction on your W. You can very much dash onto him if Lucian doesn't respect you and get in his face, so potential problems there. And we end up seeing from BTXL, they kind of round out the composition with the set. So we have that strong Diana set combo. Ziggs can sort of alley-oop the Mega Inferno Bomb on top. There's a lot of engage potential to try and deal with this Aphelios, but on the other side, we also have a lot of threats for the Ziggs and the Lucian. I feel like both teams have given themselves a fair bit of tools. I do have some concerns for Riddle just because of the fact that the Ziggs is going to cause problems with its range. The Lucian's going to be able to find prio early, and I expect a similar situation from a Rome. So maybe Riddle have to maybe weather the storm a bit, and we saw in game one that wasn't ideal, but I do think that comp is better than that game one composition. So I think as long as they are able to potentially have more they'll potentially have more agency later on.
Two things that I really like just to round off here about Nidalee for MC. It's MC signature champion for starters, but also just some like small synergies. Getting that heal against Ziggs, I think it's quite nice, you know, as an anti-poke thing, but also the attack speed steroid not only works really well with Aphelios, but with Irelia as well. So some good synergies there.
Good synergies, and you know, speaking of good synergy, Hipper and Jamada going to be taking you through the final game of the evening. Lads, take it away.
Thank you for the wholesome throw to round it out. It has been a long couple of days for me and you. Shut up, Jamada. There is good synergy here. It's been a long old day for us, but we are getting ready to go into our 6th and final game of the day between Riddle and BTXL. And remember, this is it. XL, the team who made it to the finals, are potentially going to get knocked out here if Riddle can find the win. But if they win here, they at least extend their chances to make it towards the playoffs, because you need to make it to finals if you want to make it to the European Masters and try to reclaim some of that former glory.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be far below PTXL expectations to drop out, you know, effectively in the first round of playoffs in the lower bracket. It's not as if, you know, they're in the upper bracket here and, you know, they're going to drop to the lower bracket after this. Lose, they're out. Obviously, that's the stakes of this game. It's not just for them. For Riddle, you know, I think expectations at the very start of the split, very up and down, right? No one really knew where to place this team. I feel like, honestly, even people are saying this is a team that's going to do really, really well, you know, come top 2, top 3 in the regular, and then maybe even go beyond, or just kind of fail out. And just taking a look at the insight, the only other player to have picked Xerath was actually Chimera, Resolve's mid laner. So fun little fact, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't remember how the Xerath did in the Resolve game, but
I don't think
I don't think it won, but
I'm pretty sure it didn't win.
Gruby's Xerath looked very threatening, and now gonna see him on the Aphelios. And I think composition to composition, if you speak about the comps for a little sec, because I have an inkling that we're gonna get the same kind of slow-paced games that we've had over the last 2 games here in this series.
Yeah.
I think that's just gonna be a trend. So I'm gonna get some of the analytical stuff out of the way now before we, you know, hop to the podcasting. I feel like Riddle's comp is a little bit off theme with one another, because at least to me, you know, Irelia, Malphite, even Nidalee to a degree, kind of speak kind of in to me as far as those champions go. Obviously, Nidalee can play a more poke style, but that's when she's got poke champions with her. And obviously, Aphelios kind of wants to play the fight out in a more kiting manner. And I think as well, over on the BTXL side, the 2 champions, or 2 out of 3 of the champions on our screen here, Nautilus and Ziggs, can really make an Aphelios' life hell just off the point and click of the depth charge, plus, you know, the straight setup for the Mega Inferno Bomb alone. Gooby can honestly suffer, and we've seen the combination happen plenty of times into the Aphelios. I'm trying to remember the first time I saw an LEC, it just felt really bad. I think Hansama was on the one end of the matchup. And I remember the other AD just didn't get to play the game. But I think there was also another additional poke aspect on top of it. Now, MC actually going buff to buff. So he's going to strip away Dan's red. Now, it means his pathing efficiency isn't going to be quite as high. Ooh, he's even trying to steal away the Raptors. That could be risky because Dan's right here. He might get a couple of small chickens, but there is no smite on either jungler.
Oh, hold on. Denix going low. Is able to survive Ignite Burn, and I believe Dan got the big chicken as well. Yeah, he did, but he did lose his red buff.
Practically.
And yeah, wow. Unlucky for Dan.
I mean, unlucky for Dan. I'm curious about how it's going to affect MC's overall pathing and his plans, because right now, didn't have priority in the mid lane during that invade. Doesn't have priority top. I'm not sure if nothing's happening down here, if we could get a look at the mid lane. Because I feel like Slowq is probably going to be pushed in as well.
Yeah.
So he should be able to get the top side scuttle. He has to kind of beeline it off his Gromp. Straight to the bottom side scuttle if he wants it. Unless he tries to flip the scuttle. But you can see he's still level 2 just because the way the XP on some of these smaller camps work. He's going to go poke his head and prod, but unless he finds a long-range spear onto Dan, I think he's going to have to kind of give it up because Hatrix is here.
And Dan able to chunk out Slowq pretty effectively there with the Relentless Pursuit and the dash as he does eat the spear. Is MC going to chase? No. Just out of range. PlayStation hooks a minion as well, so he reveals his hand. They will get this crab at least, but Dan able to pick this up for free. And actually, XL roaming multiple people over. They're looking for a bit of a collapse. Looking to spot it out. Deadly. Just going to leave Denik to die. Wow, poor Denik. And that's going to be a free kill to Gooby. First blood to Riddle.
Okay, consolation prize. Deadly got the skull crab. However, Dan is about to invade on MC here, and he's got to level up, so he's going to take away these chickens. He does have smite over MC as well.
Not anymore.
Curiously going to use it on the chickens. So I think that just signals to me he's going to back out and not go any further. But does have mid lane priority. I say that. Hatrix running low on resources, so will likely reset once he gets this wave under. Maybe Dan Shadows, or maybe they could look for a dive, but MC is right here.
Himself, I think, but actually that ward he's placed down has given him the vision for MC, and MC a little bit scared here. Doesn't know that Dan doesn't have smite. So he's going to pull this buff really far away. This means MC's not near his mid, or a potential dive was getting set up. But they are going to step away. Dan's going to head back into his jungle and just clear upwards once again and keep the tempo in his favor.
Yeah, and I think crucially there as well, the reason Dan doesn't commit for any kind of crazy invade is because Gooby and PlayStation based, and they didn't quite have, a specific timer on potentially where they could be. So overcommitting could definitely be, well, very much that, an overcommit, an overreach, and could see him punished, whether it's flash or death. And yeah, like you say, Dan now going to have the jungle tempo in terms of, being able to clear out, these camps again, sort of close to on spawn.
It's a nasty combo on XL. I think the set was hit on the death. Set Diana a fan favorite or a caster favorite, if anything.
Not only set Diana, but they've also got the Nautilus N6. So it's like they've got this single target, like pick who to bully kind of
Diana on top of Zigzag is genuinely a lost team fight. You don't even have to lose any members. You're just too low to carry on.
Yeah, exactly. So you find that much AoE or Slowq.
I mean, you get some resistances, but you're probably best off just not eating the entire culling Slowq.
I mean, I think the issue is if he risks it, there is a chance that Hatrix would actually end up just hitting every culling shot, and then Slowq would have to flash. And also, he's got the Vamp Scepter, so you saw he's basically full HP anyway now.
Yeah, he's fine.
So
I didn't know the Vamp Scepter at the time.
Yeah, so soaking up all that damage, it's fine. At the end of the day. Yeah, I do worry about some of the team fighting aspects, especially when you're talking about, Gooby has been very much the talking point of Riddle today in this series. Often we do talk about people like MC and Slowq on their day, but it really has been, Gooby and gang, at least for me, versus a lot of BTXL here. You can tell Slowq really wanted to try and make that connect, because he had Flay station in the area. Should just be a reset now for him.
Hatrix is going to hold the wave here for now himself. is going to be able to do so as well. And you obviously hit on, you know, what Riddle's comp kind of does a bit of different things, but I think the one thing that I can at least applaud for them is this Malphite pick, purely because it does give them solid engage and very kind of reliable engage. You know, you can miss a Malphite ult, but it's a very quick and snappy ability. On the side of XL, it's more about these hooks. It's more about, you know, these good flank angles from Dan. So the wombo combo's there, and once it lands, it lands.
Yeah, and not only
but it's going to be hard to do so. As Dan actually looking for slow Q, pulls him into the Moonlight Vigil, into the hook, and Hatrix is making his way forward. The Ignite's been thrown down, and one more Lunar Rush from Dan will secure them the kill. That's the first for XL in this game, number 3.
Yeah, first one on the board. It's Dan that gets kill credit. I actually almost thought the Moonfall was going to pull slow Q out of the dredge line, but Malphite, not Malphite, Nautilus, he's popped up on the screen. Nautilus hook hitbox. You know, it's a thing.
Thumbs up.
Slow Q.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Slow Q flashes away. Doesn't really matter. Dan still has an additional dash, so nice little bit. Pick up. Now let's see what Riddle will do in response, because BTXL, that's kind of their play, their time expended for that. Back off, and it seems like Riddle, sort of in an ebb and flow manner, they move out to the top side themselves because they expect BTXL to either be here, so they check it, or if they're not here because they backed off the play,
they're on a ward.
The Herald, and they are on a ward, yes, but Gooby...
No, he's got red and white guns.
Yeah, so Gooby, red and white guns, does have level 6 but it's not going to deter Deadly or the rest of BTXL from walking in ever so slightly, but yeah, you already saw Herald gone, and they've sent slow Q to the bottom side. Gooby in the mid lane, and how long these lane assignments will stay. If we keep the lanes like this, BTXL should have relatively consistent mid lane priority, and that should give them agency to actually move wherever they want first. In most cases, Riddle would have to commit more members than BTXL to the mid lane to secure mid lane priority. We'll see if we get a swap around as Gooby and Flay are moving back down. It seems like slow Q wants to take his mid lane back. So just a brief swap around. We'll see if Hatrix actually overcommits here on a ward. Wow. All right, well.
I've seen so many PlayStation hooks almost hit, like just so painfully close to hitting.
That was one of them. And that's the thing about when you watch Fresh. You never quite know sometimes when the hook is just gonna it's gonna cosplay the Nautilus hook and kind of just snap onto something.
Do you remember for a while it was LeBlanc chains used to just like...
Yeah, I think
how
they
did
fixed
that
them.
hit?
I think they fixed them.
They did fix that. I can tell you that.
So MC made it down to the bottom side. Slow Q managed to find the window to have priority, so also using Fog of War to his advantage. A lot of wave clear here, but with that Herald summon, they are going to pick up a couple of plates. Both go onto MC and Gooby. Definitely 2 prime candidates you want to see gold funneled into if you are rooting for Riddle. BTXL not doing too bad in this game overall. Hatrix approaching his first item, looking like that Gale Force. Most likely. Just in general, kind of across the board, the item spikes are very close to coming in. And I'll say a lot of these champions really spike hard on that first item, right? Whether it's Ludens for Ziggs. Actually, curiously, Deadly hasn't got a tier. So I wonder if he's just not had the gold, like, to get it and has just gone for more power.
And he does stack
on his
it
specific
quickly.
base. And he does stack it quickly, but, you know, we're almost 10 minutes in, no tier. Definitely very interesting. We'll have to see, because usually that is the item that we see come out of Law 6.
Yes, absolutely.
So just wait until this next base. The base right here, because he's got 1,000 gold, but at the same time, he could just kind of go even closer towards that Ludens, but I don't think he's got the entire combined cost. Or Leandries,
We have seen some Leandries builds, and because of that extra amp tome, I'm inclined to believe that this might just be a Leandries build from him.
Yeah, those are the Leandries components. I don't think those go into Ludens. If memory serves me right, I don't think Codex is a Ludens.
He bought an extra amp tone as well, so he
doesn't want to tier. Doesn't want to tier.
Yeah,
That's fine. Ludens still a very powerful item in itself. Very much about burning down HP on targets. And to be fair, slow Q Kex will have a lot of HP in their build, so definitely not opposed to it. It's not like last game where there's going to be loads of champions who won't be building any resists or anything of that nature now. Dan and Arome setting up for a potential diver, at the very least plates up here. But Rome not even going to be able to get the final couple of punches in, so won't even get that small little trade in. One last. Did it?
No,
5
it's there.
HP.
It's
Wow.
literally so close. It's 5 HP. Off the plate.
Rome. Facebreaker flash off.
Got that slam. They're going to throw him back. Can Kex get away to safety? Yes, he can.
Yep.
Dan not going to follow up anymore. Ult for ult traded. Still got time to put this plate up, so Rome going to be able to get this one. Make sure he's in range for that one.
Yeah, one little bonk. Boop.
There it is.
There you
160
go.
gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solo plate. Jake,
no,
we've been working with these.
I am fully aware it's just 160 gold for 5 HP.
Right.
Nice little trade.
Sure. So, Deadly
Been a
down
long
here on his
day.
lonesome now. See if Gooby can maybe whittle away at that tower, but overstepping into a Ziggs, honestly, he will chuck a lot of damage back out to Gooby, so it's going to be very difficult for him. And you can see the ping coming down from somebody, most likely Gooby, to try and hit on that tower. Just trying to get a brief look as well at some of the gold, and in particular, you can see Gooby so far ahead, over 1,000 gold from so many plays, etc. So, again, expecting the Gooby show in this series. It's been very much a showing of the bottom laners, in my opinion, today. Both Deadly and Gooby playing exceptionally. One more wave should hopefully be enough.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Definitely a slow pace game again. You know, the XL.
Yeah, nice.
This is honestly XL not playing to the style we know from them. And
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? It's about the fact that they've obviously swapped their support and jungle, and we've been trying to kind of see whether, oh no, they're going to overextend to the plate. Oh,
that minion. Get behind me, Mr. President.
yeah, and it's about the fact that you obviously have
Is
this
Gooby just
player
going to walk
swap.
up and auto attack it to death?
He really
The plate falls off. Oh, Gooby, that's so sad.
I can respect it. Honestly. Tries his best. At the end of the day, if he ores it and for whatever reason it just magically dies, it's an extra 160 gold or whatever, so, you know, you take it. But yeah, we've been wondering, you know, when exactly BTXL would gel. Maybe this just is the new style of BTXL, quite frankly. You know, it is the first sort of time where they've had a major kind of, well, I say major gap, but realistically it's just a little bit over a week this time. But over a week, scrimming on a patch that you know is coming is a major difference in comparison to, you know, maybe you know the player swap is coming, right, mid-split, but, you know, swapping out systems mid-split is very difficult. Any player that's had to go through that situation will tell you it does change the dynamic, right? Whether it's on the Rift in terms of actual gameplay, off the Rift in terms of, you know, leadership voices. And I have always known or heard about Dan being a very strong voiced player. So maybe just with a little bit of time, it's what BTXL needed. Even though, yes, the 1-on-1 in this series, I think it's safe to say they've looked a little better, or, you know, honestly, far better than their back-end regular split performances for me.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the same bloodbath style that we've seen throughout a lot of the NLC.
My question, though, is how do they hold up versus the teams that do play this bloodbath style? We just saw Singularity and Nordvin play versus each other in the series before, and it was a bloodbath. It was very aggressive gameplay. You know, if XL make the win through here, and I mean, same for Riddle. Riddle also been playing pretty slow tempo. Can they hold up to the teams that play at these speeds?
I think for Riddle, I think the question's been answered for us throughout the split, right? I think, at least to me, this is about Riddle kind of adapting to what BTXL are doing, because they understand, okay, cool, BTXL might be slumping, but it's still bloody BTXL, right? It's not like this is a bottom end table team. This is a team with 3 players that went all the way to EM finals and also 2 LEC players. So at the end of the day, I think this is more about respect from Riddle.
I mean, you can bet as well that XL are heavily prepped coming into this series.
Absolutely.
You know, they have been working away. Obviously, the swaps, they've happened. In the end of it, it's worked out for XL in the main league, but they have suffered over here in the NLC. And it's very much them trying to find their identity again. Mm-hmm. And it's a rough time to do it as the playoffs started, but now Nobody's really taking this lead, and the fight HUD comes up, which means we're probably in for a little bit of action. The Riftail gets summoned, and here comes the teleport. Arome going to come in onto the flank. Can he find that big slam? That is the question. Gonna go for the bomb, looking for the kill. They get the slam off. The dragon has been secured, but Dan jumps in, and now Riddle's health bars starting to wear a little bit thin as Hatrix throws out the culling. He flashes in, gives himself the kill, but he's instantly slammed back down. Dan's throwing the crescent slashes over the wall, but BTXL can't chase for anything else. The flash comes down. MC looks for the spear, can't quite hit it. Arome stunned up, locks down for the moment, gets a gourd drink and proc off, and MC burning low, dodging away on everything thrown his way. But Arome will give him a quick 1-2 left, right, and he goes down.
Honestly, Hatrix MVP of this fight right here. Assassination onto Gooby. Dan does his best, but eventually the Moonlight Vigil with the, I don't know what the red gun's called, but the red gun, the lifesteal gun, comes out as too much lifesteal for Dan to deal with. But then Hatrix slides in with the culling, and not only that, still manages to flash over the Dragon Pit wall to find the angle. Gale forces to finish off the fight. We'll get the replay to show us exactly what I'm talking about here, as Riddle, crucially, they secure the third dragon, so they're one dragon away from Soul, but the Moonfall comes in, and you can see Dan, he's not quite whittling through Gooby quick enough, but it's about that culling all the way through the shield. Oh, it doesn't even matter, and yes, Riddle, they do pick him up. Hatrix, but they lose their key carry, and also, I didn't quite see who took the lantern away from Gooby, because that could have been crucial. If Gooby gets to play that fight out front to back, that fight could look so much different. But instead, MC dies in the back end in the alcove, doing his best to at least trade another kill for his life. But very, very scary on these two items. Gooby actually not going for a crit item second, going for the wit's end. Playing a little more defensively, scared of some of this poke that can come out, and especially also the dive from Dan. And then we saw it working right there, the resist. Kex.
He does have the ultimate, able to pop it just to get away, but that's now the ulti down from Kex. It's going to be on cooldown for a little bit longer, and they can shove this wave in bot side. They were able to take the top tower, thanks to Deadly with the satchel. They're able to take the mid tower, thanks to Deadly with a satchel. And Hatrix, he'll be able to deal with this one on his own, or at least get it low enough for Deadly to come down and deal with it with the satchel. Yeah, Slowkey going to answer out on the other side of the map, though, by taking tier 1 in the top side. That will almost equalize the turret score, as Hatrix makes sure as much as the wave dies as possible. And here comes the bomb to clear through the wave. Doesn't quite finish it up. The tower will go down nonetheless, and Kex still no ultimate, so Hatrix feeling pretty confident to make sure that this wave crashes in and that he can go for a reset.
Yeah, exactly. And he probably, if we could get a flick of the gold, I want to see, I mean, it's only about 850 or 650. Yeah, so he's got that second item, Hatrix, plus a couple of components. And just in general, across the board, trying to see obviously major differences in gold. Still Gooby to Deadly, and Hatrix finds himself with a little bit under a 1,000 gold lead over Slowkey. But this Irelia still, honestly, pretty threatening just with the Blade During King alone. Can find some pretty big damage, and Arome 1,000 up on Kex, but you know, it's a Malphite, so you know, he gets a Bami's Bami Cinder, he's full build. That's how Malphite works, guys. We know that. But in all seriousness, Kex getting pretty tanky. Does have resist of both armor and magic, so
plus Ocean Soul, he's going to be really rough to deal with. PlayStation lands a nice little hook onto Arome,
and that's a big deal.
2 spears.
Yeah, it's a big deal actually. You mentioned the Ocean Soul. Deadly with the poke, it's going to get less relevant if Riddle can pick up that Ocean Soul. And I mean, they're only one dragon away, so you can kind of tell the urgency in BTXL's positioning.
Yeah.
Every time that mid-wave dies, they just kind of feign over to the bottom side because they know they have to have control over this area. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really difficult, likely to team fight moving into the Aphelios. And I said I had my worries. Yeah, go on.
4XL is they can get priority mid way easier than Riddle can, just because of the fact that they've got these they've got the Ziggs. Now you have got the white and red guns, which is your dead guns.
I think he was running out of ammo on one of them though. Oh, both of them. Gravitum and all right, that's a good combo. Oh wait,
combo. They go in for the slam, Gooby, able to get the lantern away for the moment. Hatrix jumps away. The Moonlight Vigil comes in. There's the Infernum, and they've lost Hatrix. He'll be up 8 seconds after it spawns. Dan's also chunked. Kex, no ultimate, no Moonlight Vigil either. Mega Inferno Bomb on cooldown. Moonlight Vigil available. Depth Charge available. Hat tricks. Can he get back in time? Can XL buy the space, or will this be Soul over to Riddle in game number 3?
It might be BTXL. They have to give so much respect because they're at this numbers disadvantage. And honestly, Riddle might just make the call to try and burst the dragon down. In all honesty, Dan, they can see where Dan is and they can see where the rest of BTXL is.
Oh,
they're going to go for the burst.
PlayStation, he's completely zoned away. Protobelt's away from the hook. Teleport's coming in.
Not enough.
Dragon's already low. Dan comes in for the Moonlight Vigil. Can't quite hit it. Goes in for the Stormwatch from the moment. The Vanguard's edge has been thrown down. MC's in the
dead.
pit. He's untouched. Dan is dead. The Smite is dead, but the health bars are low. Deadly touched by PlayStation. Kex is also going low, though, and MC's in the pit. He has to escape out of there. As the Rome going to try and zone him away. The spear is going to get hit. MC just needs to jump over the wall and land the Smite. XL, they can't risk the 50-50. They can't.
They can execute it. They can execute it. Look.
Looking for it. Can they go for it? They're looking to try and get MC into the pit. He's trying to get close. Looking for the spear from Gooby. Not going to hit it. MC's taking the cut. PlayStation also taking the cut. And the bomb comes down. MC survives, but PlayStation will fall. Gooby now is on him to steal it. Can he do so? I don't think he can, but XL, they are not even running the risk. The double kill secured by Hatfix. Gooby has the snipe with the Calibrum, but it's not going to happen today. XL secure the dragon. Holy moly.
That's a butt clincher if I've ever seen one when it comes to a team fight. Oh my God. I need a replay. I need a replay. I can't even talk about it post-fight. I need a replay. I have to.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's on its way. It's being whipped up. I know. But I mean, crucial thing, BTXL, they denied the soul, right? And we spoke about how potent that could have been into all of Deadly's poke. And also on the backside of the fight, Deadly ran out of mana. Bit of a symptom. Oh, hat trick.
Hat tricks, you're in trouble, friend. Knocked up Slowkey comes in. Hat tricks tries to jump away.
Wait.
But he can't dodge away. Shutdown picked up. Baron is an option, but remember, there's still Deadly alive. Mega Inferno Bomb coming up soon, and that poke with the magic resist could be detrimental. So it might be a rough one, but they're going to start it nonetheless. As Rome looks for Gooby, catches him, instantly caught up by the hook. Dan trying to find the opening, but he's unable to do so. Here comes MC. They actually put PlayStation a little bit closer thanks to the satchel charge, and Rome should be able to just about get away from this one. He's got flash and heal down on Gooby. No soul for Riddle as well, so it's risky. PlayStation lands the hook. Has he got the shield? Yes, he does. A lot of damage coming out. The depth charge is going to land on Slowkey for the moment. Here's the bomb. 4 members caught out. Moonlight Vigil charges up the chakrams, but Arome able to keep himself going. Honey Fruit to top him up in the health bar department, and Riddle not able to find their kill as Hat-Tricks respawns.
Honestly, BTXL do such a good job of just making sure they keep Riddle busy, because off the back of the pick on Hat-Tricks, honestly, they could have maybe found Baron just because of the timing of it. You see up here, PlayStation does such a great job of keeping Dan sort of occupied. Nice spear from MC, well timed to execute Dan as well. And all the while, Gooby, I'm not going to say untouched, but playing front to back, you see eventually gets chunked out. This hook, honestly, if there was any follow-up on it, could have been absolutely disastrous for BTXL. Kex call out in the middle of the fight. And it's from this point. When it gets to this point where there's no jungler on BTXL's side, you see Hat-Trick steps up. Oh yeah, Dan being caught out in the picture. Okay, not gonna die. But as well, you know, Hat-Trick stepping up, making sure that he kills Diana. I mean, Dan, no. Hat-Trick's making sure he kills the jungler and then also the other person with him. And it all comes down to Gooby. Didn't quite have the range in the Calibrum to find the snipe and potential steal away on the soul. Hectic fight. But again, it all comes down in these fights to Gooby being alive or Deadly being out to put out damage. And the rest of BTXL trying to lock down this Riddle AD carry.
We are dead even on gold right now.
Yeah.
We got 2 items onto Deadly. Crucially, he does have some anti-heal. Building towards that Essence Reaver's Hat-Trick's next item. I'd like to see a Serpent's Fang come through. There's a fair amount of shielding to work through, especially with Gooby's shield bow. You need to find that assassination off on him. But for now, Riddle, quite happy just to chill. That Ocean Soul spawning up in 1 minute 40. Gooby almost got his flashback and will have it back for the Dragon, which is going to be super important for him. Dan will have his for the Dragon as well. If he can flash and find Gooby, that could just be Baron. That could just be game. They've already taken 2 towers in the mid wave and been able to hold on to their tier 1 mid side, so they can really afford to play this a bit further forward than Riddle can.
Yeah, and I think as well, Another thing to take into consideration, guns for Gooby, honestly. I think guns could play a pretty big part in how these fights play out, whether it's the Infernum, whether it's the Calibrum, whether it's the Graviton, which I believe he just emptied. So he's not going to have that one. I think right now he's got red and green, got the sniper and got the lifesteal.
Not the best for team fighting.
Oh no, he just got rid of.
He's got the good team fighting ones.
Yeah. So he's got the Chakrams now, and he's got the lifesteal. This is the combination which deals all of that DPS. I think the Observer highlighting that he just wasted some ammo.
He's got enough. He's got enough.
He's
to fight.
Yeah,
45 seconds till it comes up. You can see pink wards are plenty. XL are the team who have priority as far as the vision goes, at least some shallow vision to work with. And with Deadly constantly just throwing over as many bolts as possible, but a hook lands onto Arome. He has the shield to keep himself alive for the moment. True damage onto Gooby. Arome jumps in. Dan dodges away on the Moonlight Vigil, catches MC with the moonfall, but he's on his own. Coming in for the bomb. MC's heavily chunked out. Dan now. Can he find the escape? No, he can't. The slam is dodged. Arome able to keep himself alive for the moment. Deadly trying to top the catapult for the moment. Arome going very, very low. The shielding is there. Hatrix is buying some space. Gooby jumps in. The healing is big and the shielding is even bigger. XL only have their carries. I'm not sure what the hell Dan thought he was going to be able to do 1 versus 3 on the Diana, but that has cost them soul. That has potentially cost them the game. Hatrix has been spotted out, and MC may just be able to find the assassination off onto him. The spear gets dodged out as Gooby looks to chase. Hatrix trying to get himself out of there. Has got that piercing light. Slowkey going to get slowed down for the moment as MC finds the assassination. This could just be game for XL. This could just be the season over for the side of XL.
Over before August. I just don't know if BTXL in this game right here have what it takes in the tank right now to deal with this Aphelios or the rest of the composition. They've got a flank angle here on Arome, and ultimates are here. Dan outside the pit. No vision just yet. Can he do what MC did to him?
He jumps in! Dan! What a play! What a steal! PlayStation goes down as well. It's a 1-for-1, but the heroics from Dan, from hero, well, from 0 to hero. Oh!
Dan right there, salvaging BTXL's hopes at advancing in playoffs and making sure expectations are held for this organization. We'll get a replay. It starts off with Rome getting hit by this death sentence and just so much damage dumped into him. And eventually you can just see Dan just dives forward onto MC, just unprovoked. The rest of BTXL nowhere to be found. Deadly does his best to throw damage over the top, but I mean, just doesn't do much. Kex misses out on the ultimate, dodged away from really by Hatrix, and another death sentence lands. And that's when the Vanguard's Edge and Gooby just gives him the freedom to move up here. Honestly, I feel like he could have just kept on running Hatrix down, and on the top side, Slowkey finishes up, then it can pushes Deadly out of the fight. And I've got to say, Flay playing out of his mind in this game. Had some very stellar lanterns in the previous ones, but this time around, it's just about everything. Lanterns, hooks.
Oh,
but Dan with this steal.
It was Kex. He gave him the Lunar Rush.
Oh, no.
Unreal.
Wow.
I was wondering how he dashed because he didn't have Protobelt or Flash. I was so curious how he got over the wall. I didn't realize Kex stepped up and he got the vision off the Q. Oh, my Lord.
Wow. Okay. So what does this mean for the game? Because tempo was very quickly and heavily swinging in Riddle's favor. And of all times for a pause to come in, it's right now. I'm out of focus. Not really too surprised, to be honest. But, I mean...
I'm out of breath, mate. That is... God damn. 30 minutes in, we've had a pretty lengthy series between BTXL and Riddle, and I don't think it's over anytime soon, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. XL pulled the game back from the depths of despair. It is by no means won for them. It is by no means over for them. But they do have that Ziggs. They've been able to take a whole bunch of towers, and the pause is ending, guys. So we are going to be getting back into the action as quick as possible. Whew. This is our moment of respite before we jump straight back in.
Deep breath in. Deep breath out. I'm sure the players will be doing something similar right now during this pause. Because tensions are high. You have to keep a level head in a series like this.
Now, I just want to take a quick stock of items because we've got the Death Cap finished up onto Deadly. Gooby has got that wit's end, so he is kind of, mitigating some of the damage from Deadly.
Yeah. He's also got Merc Treads.
He does also have Merc Treads. So, Deadly with the Void Staff, Death Cap Luden, still going to be hitting pretty hard. This poke is still going to hurt, but like you said, the Ocean Soul doing a great job alongside with that Magic Resist, meaning it's a little bit harder to find that assassination.
Yeah.
Or just that burst of it will stick to Gooby.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I hate to be the nepotist, but great. BTXL stole the Baron away. It's definitely going to delay the game. But once the buff falls off, we're effectively going back to a bit of a reset to the previous game state.
Well,
do they have the kind of damage still?
I think the biggest problem they'll have
these items
is sieging. Like, they've been able to take these towers. They're 6 towers in, but I just don't think this team at the moment, Baron going to be wearing off somewhat soon. I just don't think they're going to be able to take any more towers. Like, might be able to get this 6th one eventually with the Ziggs, but the inhibitor siege is going to be very reliant on another Baron. We got Elder spawning up just before that. If they lose that Elder, I think this game's over.
Yeah, I think that's the
Ocean
issue, right?
Elder it's so doomed.
Typically, you look at a Ziggs team, you're like, okay, right, sieging's going to be great, no problem. But you're standing in front of a Nidalee, you're standing in front of a Malphite. Inevitably, a spear's going to connect onto a carry, or Malphite's just going to press his R key, and your carry's going to have to flash. And how poor of a position does that leave you in for then slow Q to come in and sort of clean up kills, or Gooby throwing an Infernum, Moonlight Vigil, or Gravitum, or whatever Ulma it is. Even like if that spear connected on Deadly, Deadly's got to go back to base. So it is very much touch and go. You can see how much damage Deadly's done. 23,000, pretty much.
And they still got the tier 1 to hide behind.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the lifesteal, though. I mean, that was only obviously a satchel poke, but even so, the damage just doesn't stick from Deadly anymore, and kind of undoing what they want to do.
Yeah.
1 minute until this dragon spawns up. Riddle are the ones who are slowly working the vision down through the river. They're creeping these pinks forward, and Arome being the one to dodge the spear. Probably best case scenario on that one.
Thank you, Observer. I wanted to ask, but beating me to it. BTXL just don't have control here. And I mean, fight odds up. I mean, if BTXL are going to make something happen.
Here's the slam. Aromic instantly caught out by the hook. Looking for that face breaker. Looking for the haymaker. Gooby's going to eat a bunch of damage.
Oh!
3-man ultimate from Kex. Slowkey slides in. The moonfall comes down from Dan, but Kex is tanking everything. Another glorious hook comes out as Hatrick's able to answer out. It's a 1-for-1. Holy crap, that damage from Gooby is disgusting. And MC may just find a heroic spear, but no, it's a heroic hook from PlayStation. And Riddle may just have done it. They may just have found the straw that will break the camel's back in this game.
He just one-shot hat-tricks almost. That's an 80 carry. Okay. Well, Riddle, like you say, we've got Riddle in a really strong position here to just kind of pick up the Elder and end the game. BTXL, it's gonna be a miracle. I don't know if Dan's going to be able to make it into the pit this time like we did. Look at that! What is that?
That's Gooby, bro. He's goobing people.
Oh my god. It's absolutely absurd. And now, okay, serious, jokes aside, absolute hysteria aside from some of the damage you're seeing come out of Gooby, what does this mean for the game? Because Elder's now going to secure the Baron, and with the Baron and Elder, Riddle can go wherever the hell they like.
Yeah.
And BTXL, they don't really have much of a say in it. They have to wait for the super buffs to drop off. And if they try and fight whilst the super buffs are there,
it has to be heroics from Dan again, but can he pull it off 2 times in a row? I don't think he can. The Baron is just melting right now. Hatrix is trying to shove the wave as deep as possible. Deadly with the Mega Inferno. But can he line it up? No, he can't. The Meteor almost secured it. Hatrix takes an inhibitor tower in response, but that is as good as it gets for XL right now.
Okay, Observer baiting us a bit, but that's fine. Riddle, both the super buffs, but they've only got 1 minute left on the Elder, and that's the more important one. they have to sprint it up the mid lane right now. That is the only option. If they want to get use out of this Elder, they have to run it up the mid lane with this Baron, both super buffs. You can see Dan resetting down here, hat tricks as well. The waves, yeah, you can see smart from Riddle. They're going back to the wave to actually speed it up with the Baron buff, just to cut some time, save any crucial seconds that they can. And honestly, if BTXL will even walk up to a tower, Riddle just have to kind of go if they want to make use of the buff, that is.
I think this might be it. This might be the final moments for BTXL here in the NLC Summer 2021 split from second place at the European Masters to being knocked out in the first round of playoffs. BTXL are running out of options. They are running out of time, and Riddle have played out of their mind to win this series. The Nexus has been laid bare. The three-man moonfall into the bomb, but Arome is slammed. And down goes down. This is the end of XL. This is the end of a legacy here at the NLC. Riddle take the win.
BTXL fall at the first hurdle, and Riddle Esports will progress. I don't even think this is an upset.
No.
By
no
any
means.
definition of the word. This was Riddle coming here today and playing a damn good game. And when it came to game 3, backs against the walls for both parties.
Yeah.
Riddle came out and played a stronger game.
End of the day, the better team won. That is the way we look at it. XL, it's not been a particularly great split for them. Riddle have been playing very well all split long, especially in the later half of the split as well. And at the end of the day, they find themselves the win. And for the first time in years, in absolutely years, we are not going to have a Fnatic versus BTXL Grand Final. And, you know, we have a bunch of really big contenders going for this as well. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, Jamada, I'd love to get your thoughts, but I think it's time we pass it over to our analyst desk to break this game down and the day down. So, Viperoon, over to you, mate.